Hey guys, well, it's in the ground. There you see, and got it covered up, got it planted. Used up all the soil that was packaged with it, or just about all of it. Used up some of the soil that was, or all the soil that came out of the hole. Got a big thick layer of mulch on it, and something I'm going to do for anybody out there that understands what I did there wrong in textbook, but the reason I did that, I'm gonna pull that mulch back off of the trunk. The reason I have it there like that now is we're supposed to get quite a bit of rain and quite a bit of cold weather over the next few days. So I want to make sure, since I just got these roots into the ground, I want to make sure that I keep them really protected. I may even come back and put some more mulch over it the next couple days, even though this thing has been outside all winter, so it should be okay. But just to make sure, and then once we're out of the danger of really, because it's supposed to get down to like 21 in the next couple days, so once I know we're out of the threat of freezing the roots, I'll come pull that back off the trunk quite a bit. But right now the roots are, you know, probably the root zone is probably about right there. So, you know, if I pulled it back 4 or 5 inches off the trunk, then we're probably looking at getting, you know, not having any mulch over the roots. So that'll come back. I'll pull that back. That's not going to stay like that. But guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't really want to mulch all the way up to the trunk of your tree like that. It can create mold, fungus. It can actually harbor pests that otherwise would be, which I'm not as worried about the pests, because you see right there, that's my pest control company. But anyway, so I'm not as worried about the pests, but it can. In fact, if you mulch heavily around your trees, you can actually be providing shelter for the pests that will attack your trees. So that'll be something. I'll pull that back. But that's just a temporary measure, so that I make sure it doesn't get any frost damage or anything. And you see, I pruned these back to an outer bud. Did the same thing right here and over there, and I pruned it at an angle, and then I pruned this back. I was going to prune it all the way here, but there's an outward bud right there that's going to come out this way, and I want to leave that and just see if that bud develops. If it doesn't, I'll go ahead and nip it back to right here, and maybe one of these other ones will develop. I'd like to have 4. I'd like to have 4 scaffolds. If it's just 3, that's not the end of the world. But what I would really like to do is have 3 good ones and thin these out, because these 2 right here are pretty close together. But you guys see that spacing? Those aren't as spaced out as I'd like. This one's a little better. It's got at least a couple inches. But you know, that's not going to be the end of the world. If it stays like that, I'll leave it. But I would like to find a little better spacing. But we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I think it'll be okay. But this guy is planted in there. I did kind of dig that hole out a little more and spread those roots out a little better. So that ought to really help the life of the plant in the long run. And luckily I didn't have to soak the root ball to get that soil. As soon as I pulled that bag off, the soil just fell off. So it actually worked. Sometimes they pack them in there so long, and I think this one was probably in a pot and they pulled it out and stuck it in that bag because it was outgrowing the pot. But a lot of times you have to soak them for hours and hours, and sometimes even overnight, to get that soil to fall off. It gets so packed around the roots. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. It fell right off. I stuck it in there in the bucket to soak it for just a few minutes while I was digging the hole. But then I put it in there and I watered the heck out of it while I was setting it in the hole. So it should be good and watered. We're supposed to get some rain, like I said, over the next couple days anyway. So I'm not really worried too much about the water. But I am going ahead and soaking the ground up the hill from it. That water will run down into that, into the root system area, into that soil. So not too worried about that. Plus with the ducks, with watering the ducks and moving their waters around, their watering buckets around the different areas, we get plenty of water on these plants, and that'll actually help us during the summer anyway. So, but she's planted, she's good. So thanks guys for coming along, checking that out. This will be part 3 of 3, and of course we'll update. We'll see how she's doing after weeks, months. You guys will come along and see that. Thanks for checking us out, Red Acres Homestead. Please subscribe to our page, like it, comment. Let us know what, give us ideas for other videos, some things you'd like to see. Thanks guys. Trevor, the Red Acres Homestead is out.